Success isn't random. It follows a code. Welcome to the Conant Code, where we break down the strategies, challenge the myths, and uncover the truth in 5 minutes or less. Now, let's crack the code.
You know his face. You just don't know his story. It's there on the pantry shelf, on the grocery aisle. Maybe it was tucked in the back of your dorm room growing up. A smiling man in a chef's hat, red scarf, a mustache so neat it could have been drawn with a ruler, cartoonish, familiar, friendly. But here's the twist. He wasn't a made-up mascot. He was real. And his story? It's not about pasta in a can. It's about a boy with nothing but a wooden spoon, a stubborn dream, and a country that didn't even know it was hungry yet. He was born Ettore Boiardi in 1897 in the little town of Piacenza, Italy. By age 11, he wasn't washing dishes. He was cooking. By his teens, he was working in the kitchens of Paris and London. And then, at 16 years old, a teenager with broken English and a chef's knife, he boarded a ship for America. The year was 1914, just weeks before World War I would turn the world upside down. He came through Ellis Island like so many others. Thin wallet, thick accent, bigger dreams. He started at the bottom, the kitchen at the famed Plaza Hotel in New York City. But it didn't take long. Talent like his never stays hidden. By his early 20s, Ettore was cooking for American presidents. It's said he catered President Woodrow Wilson's wedding. Later, he cooked for thousands of World War I soldiers returning home. Not bad for a kid who barely spoke the language. But fame doesn't always feed the future. Not back then. If you wanted to build something that lasted, you had to go where there was room to grow. And so Ettore packed his knives, his recipes, and moved to Cleveland, Ohio. In 1924, he opened a restaurant called Il Giardino d'Italia, the Garden of Italy. Simple food that tasted like home. People didn't just like it, they devoured it. And pretty soon, customers started asking for leftovers. So Ettore did what any sharp entrepreneur would do. He listened. He poured his homemade red sauce into cleaned-out milk bottles and sent them home. Word spread. And here's where things get clever. He realized America wasn't just ready for Italian food. It was ready for easy Italian food. Dinner without the rolling pins, without the sauce-stained aprons. So he started selling full meal kits, spaghetti, sauce, a little tin of Parmesan. It wasn't just dinner anymore. It was dinner made easy. The demand exploded. Ettore opened a canning factory, started mass-producing his recipes. There was just one small problem. Nobody could pronounce Boiardi. So he made a sacrifice for progress. He changed the spelling, phonetically, so American families could say it with a smile. Boiardi became Boiardi. And just like that, Chef Boyardee was born. Now, most stories would end there. The happy ending, the smiling face in the supermarket aisle. But Ettore's story wasn't done yet. When World War II broke out, he didn't just feed American families. He fed the American military. The U.S. government tapped his company to create field rations for the troops. His factories ran 24 hours a day. At its peak, he was producing over 250,000 cans a day. For his efforts, Ettore was awarded the Gold Star of Excellence by the War Department, one of the highest civilian honors of the time. Think about that. An immigrant boy who landed here with nothing but kitchen skills and ambition fed the soldiers who defended the very freedom he came seeking. That's not just success. That's the American dream, served in a can. After the war, Ettore sold the company for $6 million, a fortune in those days, but stayed on as a consultant, protecting his recipes and his reputation. When he passed away in 1985, at the age of 87, the company he built was generating over $500 million a year in canned goods. His legacy wasn't just spaghetti and ravioli, it was possibility. So the next time you walk down that aisle and see that familiar red label, know this: that isn't some faceless corporate mascot. That's Ettore, the boy who cooked for presidents, the chef who fed the troops, the immigrant who turned leftovers into a legacy. And here's the lesson. Great ideas don't always start in boardrooms. Sometimes they start with a glass milk bottle and a handful of people asking for seconds. Success isn't always about creating something new. Sometimes it's about translating something timeless into something the world can finally understand. Chef Boyardee didn't invent Italian food. He just made it accessible. And in doing so, He fed more than just stomachs. He fed dreams. And that, my friends, is the Conant Code.
That's it for this episode of the Conant Code. If you got something out of it, share it with a friend, follow the show, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. More insights, more strategies, and more code breaking coming soon. Until next time, keep thinking, keep building, and keep pushing forward.